I'm going to tell you a story. A story is about Lil Timmy. Lil Timmy had no friends in school. Lil Timmy had no girls that he talked to. Never had a girlfriend. He's very lonely. He doesn't have family that he can depend on or count on or anything like that. And Lil Timmy meets this girl somehow, some way. Some girl pops into his life and makes the effort of getting to know Timmy because he seems so lonely. And Lil Timmy, he doesn't have anyone in his life, so of course he lets her in. She's a pretty girl, and he's attracted to pretty girls. So why the hell wouldn't Lil Timmy not let her in? Lil Timmy develops a crush on her because Lil Timmy has no experience with any girls or any woman or attractive woman in his life. He has none of that besides this one person. And she gives him this feel-good feeling that he can never replace. He can't find it within himself. He can't find it within anyone else in his life because there's no one else in his life that he can depend on. And this is what happens when little Timmy is attracted to this girl, but she doesn't feel the same way back. She steps back. She leaves little Timmy alone, back in the same dark place where she found him, because she doesn't feel the same way about little Timmy. And little Timmy can't take that. He is too attached. He cannot let her go. And every day he thinks about her, day and night. He cannot give her up. And this is what tends to happen when people get attached to somebody that doesn't feel the same way about them. They're lacking something within themselves, within their lives. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they're depressed. Then they start getting this feeling when they find that one person that is in their life, that gives them a feeling they can't find in themselves. They get attached. Very quickly, I might add. And I know how this feels. This happened to me before. This happened to me a couple of times, actually. And the reason this happened was because I was lacking something within myself. I was lacking happiness within myself. I was lonely. I didn't have many friends at the time. I didn't really talk to many people. I was always to myself. And whenever I went home, I wouldn't interact with my family. I would just lock myself in my room and either be on the phone, on the game, my computer, whatever it was. But when I met this attractive girl, when she was in my life, we started getting into each other romantically, and she reciprocated. Everything was going good, but then when it wasn't, she ended up leaving, and I was distraught. I was depressed. I couldn't take it. I wanted to be with her again so bad. I thought about her every day, every waking moment. When I wake up, I think about her. I'm waiting on her to text me back, or hit me up, or say she missed me, or come over. And that's how I felt. I felt that feeling of abandonment, of depression. I got depressed. And mind you, this was around COVID, so it made everything even worse. Everybody was isolated, and there was nothing I could really do. But the whole reason that this happened, like I said, is because I lacked something within myself. What did I lack? Self-love. Self-love, and I felt lonely. I didn't have a support group. I didn't have a support system. And the reason you probably get attached yourself is because you feel the same way. You can't live with yourself. You can't live by yourself. Whenever you're by yourself, you feel lonely. You need someone around you to make you feel good. You search for feel-good feelings in other people. You have to learn to love yourself. Because the only person you will ever have at all times, 24/7, for the rest of your life, until you die, is you. You were born into this world, and you were the only person you ever truly had at all times. You're going to die alone, and you were born alone into this world. So, if you're a twin, that might not be the case for you, but you get what I'm trying to say. Really, the steps you got to be taking in order to start loving yourself is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not being part of the crowd, for being an outcast, for being by yourself, for not having any friends, for being a quote-unquote loser. You got to forgive yourself, because once you stop feeling bad for yourself and stop thinking about life as a cage where you're held in and you have no freedom, you feel like it's so scary for you to do anything at all. Once you stop feeling that way, once you're a little bit happier with the fact that, you know what, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I'm not such a bad person for being me. Whatever the case may be, you have no control over what happened in the past, but you can take control of what happens in the present. And what you do now affects the future. So, you can start taking them steps now to loving yourself and appreciating the fact that you're even taking a breath, that you're even alive, is a present. They call it the present because that's exactly what it is. And the way I learned to love myself is by fighting that fear that I had about being accepted by other people. Now, what if I expose myself? What would people think about me? All my flaws and everything else in between. I just fought that fear. And I had to say that I stopped caring, but that's really the truth, because I don't care anymore. I'm appreciative of myself in every aspect, and whatever I decide to do, I'm going to love myself for doing. My problem is not to worry about what other people think about me. My problem is worrying about what I think of myself. And if I'm doing everything I want to do, living the way I want to live, that's fine with me. And once you start thinking like that, that's going to help you be on the journey of accepting yourself and loving yourself. And that way you will never get attached to someone you don't need again. If y'all enjoyed this video, then y'all be easy.